Have a look on YouTube on the live. I think we might be live now. Just need to double check. Oh man, I've clicked on the wrong thing. Good evening everyone and welcome to Project Cars 2. This is Competitive Racing Club Tier 1 Season 4 Round 1 here at the legendary circuit. Of course, 5.5 miles, also in length if you are a very familiar face to TTTV. I am going to be taking you through the action alongside the fantastic Alan Cavey. Good evening.
Good evening. Nice to be in a party with you again. And, well, my voice is a little bit rusted from Tier 2 from all the madness that happened. So, nice to be back at Daytona. What a way to start off a season and to start off 2 tiers indeed. It's nice to be back.
It is fantastic to be back. And just actually, I've been doing a bit of research from last season. Steve actually took the win with 007 Professional second, the best in third. I will get to grips with the names as we go along, trust me. But we are here for Daytona, and obviously you've been commentating on Tier 2. How do you feel like the drivers will get round Daytona? Do you feel that this will be a real test for the drivers, or do you feel they'll do just fine? Because I think in Tier 2 we certainly saw a lot of action.
Yeah, Tier 2 saw tons of action. I wouldn't call it all positive, but there was action that happened on the track. I think Tier 1 is going to be a different story with a lot of these drivers, veterans of the game. Returning drivers from CRC, race winners, race champions, and Crusher as well, champion from TTG, and Andy as well, a veteran from TTG as well. So, get a lot of known faces, nice to see. And, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised at all by seeing fantastic racing action, and it should be a good one tonight.
Yeah, it should be fantastic. Of course, we are on board with Andy at this stage. Oh no, but no, we're just flicking through. I think I'm supposed to be doing the other thing. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought I just saw the spin. But we go through the field tonight. We have 11 drivers to present to you tonight. Ash is finding grips that Ferrari off the track. If you want to look at him, he's warming up his tires on the little apron on the backstretch at Daytona. And that's Crusher spinning.
Yeah, Crusher spinning, going back into the pits there, straight back out for the defending champion from TT_Project Cars. Hopefully he will drive quite well. A bit of frame drop there. I think that might have been racing at home just coming in, or somebody certainly joining into the session. But with 11 minutes remaining, it is H Racing. Thank you very much for confirming that. And currently at the top of the standings is Emmanuel Beast with in the Mercedes SLS. He is currently, well, he was until coming in right at the top of the standings. There is Nissim, I think it is. Nissim 67, yeah. He's gone with a 44.8. What comparison is that to Tier 2?
Well, the thing is with qualifying in Tier 2, I noticed that it was within 2,000ths of a second for pole position. I think it was within a second or two off. I think, if I remember, pole position was in the 45s, 46s. So a second or two off. Not by far. Now it's going to be Jake Wilson or racing at home, taking third position. Andy is slightly back in third. Fourth is Super Guy. Fifth, Emmanuel. He's going to cross the line again. I think Emmanuel's actually going to set in a legit lap. That's third for him. 4/10 off pole position of racing at home. So we're going to see a lot of laps be setting in so far. We're going to see Ash getting up to the top 3. He was warming up his tires. Same for Professional. He was warming them up as well. So I think that's a teamwork thing. I noticed with the Ferraris, they were taking their time warming up their tires that nobody else really did. They were weaving back and forth. So really communicating as a teammate is important, but we're going to see a lot of guys setting a lap time. So right now the target, I'd say, is a high 43, low 44.
Yeah, 44.7 from Racing at Home, currently out on top. In provisional pole, of course, we've still got 9.5 minutes just over left to go within the session. And of course, we are brand new here with Competitive Racing Club, the merger, of course, between CRC and TT_Project Cars as well. Fantastic merger, I may say. Tier 1, I think, is going to provide some great action. Not some great action there, Racing at Home, just I've got to say so myself.
These drivers, I saw some on track, some off. I was going to comment that again, like you saw with the Ferraris, they were warming up the tires off the track. But will like to note that staying on the track limits is key. We do, like again in the Project Cars League, we have the settings turned on. It's very, very strict, very, very harsh. So staying between the white lines is very important for these drivers to set legitimate lap times. If you look at the race feed in the bottom right, you see Xander Morrow had a lap time invalidated as well before he did set the fastest lap of a 44.5, jumping Jake Wilson or racing at home by 2/10, and racing at home is headed back out on track with 8 minutes remaining.
I'm not a traditional driver. I'm normally a commentator. That's why I'm in the box. And not Malc currently out on top in provisional pole. Is there anybody though who takes your fancy to really set a good lap here in qualifying at Daytona?
Well, I'm going to have to say Crusher. Crusher is a really good chance, not because of the car, but because of his credibility and how fast he is and how much time it's... You know, I can't stress it enough that Crusher is really going to be a force to reckon with, but also the Mercedes SLS cars. They're reckoned to be the fastest car at the track, so having drivers like Spencer, or Xanamar, I should say, at pole position again. He's never won a race before. He only has a couple career podiums. That Mercedes SLS is really helping him. Same with racing at home in Nitsim in the AMG. It's right now Mercedes 1, 2, 3. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if these cars were the cars to beat today, and if Crusher's win did not come today either. I mean, he is in the Aston Martin. It is decent down the straights, not the fastest, I will say, not the fastest. And so if Crusher doesn't win today, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I feel like his time has come in the season. But again, in my opinion, Mercedes SLS is a car to beat today.
Yeah, Mercedes currently filling out the top 3 spots. Superguy, I do believe, improved as well to a 45.8. Ash Richardson is just off track at this moment in time on my screen anyways. Emmanuel Beast now just coming through a couple of the corners. That is towards the hill. He's just about to come across the line. Crusher Bro on a lap. Of course, defending champion in TT_Project Cars, the Norwegian, has been really great, I've got to say, in terms of the pace. Currently not set a time on the lap board, however, he has the banker of a 202.7. Inevitably, that will improve, but I've got to say, top 11 separated by less than 2 seconds. That's quite close.
Yeah, it's really close. I'm quite surprised. Usually with CRC the past 3 seasons, we've only done 1 tier, and that showed the mixed results and wide gaps between times. But now with 2 tiers, we're seeing everything a lot closer. I'm quite happy to see that. If you look within, let's see, the top 6, everyone's within a second. If you look between the top 11, everyone's within 2 seconds. So it just goes to show everything's getting a lot closer, but at the same time, it's down to the speed on the straight lines at this track. It's really, really key, and that's, again, why the Mercedes are 1, 2, 3, and I think 6 as well, while you have the Ferraris 4th and 5th. And again, I would like to point out in Tier 2, Ferrari was the car to beat, so it's not necessarily bad that you do have cars up there that aren't Mercedes 4th and 5th. They are another car forced to reckon with at Daytona.
Yeah, of course, Ash Richardson just warming up the tyres on the infield of the track. That is just coming towards the bus stop, I think, down towards turn 10. Hopefully he will be able to settle up. He's currently 5th with a 141.161. Crusher Bro about to come across the line now, though, on the Aston. Does he go at the top? Whoa. Of course he does, with a 44 flat. What a lap that is by Crusher Bro. I didn't honestly think he could handle these cars as well as what I would imagine him to, but comes to show that I've been proven wrong right there. 44 flat, very impressive indeed.
So I would like to point out that we do have a couple race winners in CRC running outside of the 2-second margin. You have Steve and John on the Audi. A lot of drivers that drove the Audi last season would say that it races like a GT4 in terms of speed by handling and everything. And it's just so unstable. So to see Williams Engineering switching from the fantastic Lamborghini to an Audi, it was surprising with a beautiful livery. However, the car not as good as livery is, and seeing them run 9th and 11th, both race winners in CRC, it's quite surprising. I thought they'd be a little bit up closer to the pace, and I know John, he does like the Audi with other tracks like Algarve and Portimao. John was running times close to Andy from reportedly with the same lobby settings. So maybe it's just Daytona, maybe it's just a straight line speed, maybe we'll see a change next week, but for now in Daytona, I don't think the Audis are going to have any competition up front. And when I say up front, I mean Crusher, all the Mercedes and all the Ferraris.
Yeah, Mercedes and Ferrari's currently looking on top. As you were saying, Steve obviously taking the win last season. 007 professional in second, and McLaren, the best, was third last season. I was doing my homework just before we came live on stream. And funny enough, actually, this track has actually held this current format since 2010. So starting off the new decade here with the new merger, obviously, with CRC and TT_Project Cars, it is really going to be quite interesting, I think, to see how these drivers have been handling the track. Most of them have been handling it well. Everyone's got a lap time on the board. I've got to say so myself, though. H Racing, I would have been expecting him to be a bit further up compared to where he is. He's dead last at the minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, he does like the Bentley. I know it's not the best car in the game, but H Racing Green.
Racing at home has gone Paul.
Didn't think anyone would top Crusher's lap, but a 43.7, like I said, that high 43 is something to reckon with, and we would see that time in qualifying.
Yeah, fantastic lap. Continue what we were saying, sorry for butting in there.
I forgot. Keep on going. I need to send out the tweet link.
Yeah, H Racing, I think we were on about. He's down there in 12th position, 46.5. Again, I would have been expecting him to be a bit further up than expected. Racing at home, obviously on top. He's in the pit lane. Does he feel like he's done enough? Remains to be seen. I think he should come out there for another lap and try and improve, to be honest. Really, he's only got a buffer time of about 45 seconds, so if he's got to move out of the pit lane, he's got to move it out now. Crusher Bro currently in second and Zandamar in third, 44.5. 2.7 seconds separating the top 12. Really nice and competitive Tier 1 action to come, and of course a 45-minute race to follow after the qualifying. Emmanuel Beast we are on board with, just coming through the bus stop there, and we're going on flicking through the different drivers. Andy better come across the line. Just came across the line. Did he improve? I don't think he did. 46.3 is his current best. The Scotsman doing a good job though in that Aston.
Oh, that's Andy in the wall again. He just slapped the wall in turn 1 on the inside barrier, and that was a common marking ground for some of the tier 2 guys to make contact with the wall. So I'm not surprised, but I would like to mention our left. He's not going to have a chance to go back out and take another lap, believe it or not. Crusher, on the other hand, is in the perfect position. He can finish this lap and most likely start next lap, too. So need be if this lap isn't the best. You have Xanamar as well. He has a chance to do this lap and next lap. Emmanuel, this lap and next lap, maybe. So some of these guys do have a chance to take pole position from racing at home. Whereas our pole sitter is left defenseless in the pits. He could have gone out and done another run if he timed it perfectly, but he didn't. And Emmanuel, I was going to say, is up to 4th place after jumping professional and Nissim. And while Nissim jumps professional, as I say that, up to 5th place, our 2-time champion, Ash, is down in 7th, surprisingly enough. Our little Bulldog Racing team are the 2-time Constructors champions, as well as 2-time Driver champions, are running 6th and 7th, while Ash spins in turn 1.
Yeah, just spinning there in turn 1, just dropping that back end of the car. I think, especially with the Ferraris and those cars that won't get the grip through there, it's going to be quite difficult for the back ends to actually find the grip that necessary. And obviously we saw that with the Ferraris in Tier 2, where they continuously went wide, especially towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that some of these cars are tricky to handle, and again with the lobby settings, I'm not entirely surprised by what we've seen so far today and this weekend. And now Crusher's in the pits, that's it. Crusher's saying he's not going to get pole position. That's shocking from a nickname given to him as the champion of TTG Project Cars as well. And he's not going to have a chance to get pole position. So his career debut, his best will be 2nd place. Spencer falls down from the 4th, or Xanamar. Emmanuel crosses the line in 3rd after jumping him up to 3rd place. I think that's Emmanuel's best career qualifying performance, and it was slated that he even had a chance of falling into Tier 2 after, season performances in the evaluation race, and now he shows up to Daytona setting a time 3rd fastest. It's quite surprising. Now you see Spencer or Xanamar spinning out in 4th, and it's down to just Nissim to finish this lap.
Yeah, Nissim and H Racing Green also on the other lap as well. He's just coming through towards turn 9, I do believe that is on the banking. Nissim goes up to third with a 44.2, 5/10 off Racing at Home. Nice lap and jumps Emmanuel Beast, which is a very good lap from him. H Racing Green, though, is the only one out on track. I think he's about to come towards the bus stop right now. Yes, he is, and that Bentley, he is about to come up to those tricky 4 corners that I've already alluded to. Turns 10, 11, 12 and 13 out on track, and it is a really difficult track to really get a hold of here. Beautiful line through there, a little bit cutting on the inside. Can he improve on a 46.5? Let's see as he comes around the inner banking now towards the end of the lap. H Racing Green expected to improve on this lap. The Bentley, I've got to say, not really the strongest car around the track, but coming through the final 2 corners now. He's about to come through turn 16 on the banking to finish off the lap. And H Racing Green, is he going to jump up the order? Let's find out. He jumps up to 9th, and he's left the session as soon as he does that. Fantastic. Oh, and he's joined back. Luckily, he's just joined back there. Racing at Home takes it from Crusher Bro in 2nd, Nissim 3rd, Emmanuel Beast in 4th, Xandamar 5th, 007, Ash Richardson, Super Guy, H Racing Green, PFC Steve up there in the top 10. But Racing at Home with that lap time, setting a very nice time with a 43.7. He's got he's got pole position.
Yeah, I was going to notice, when you said that he disconnected, I think that message was just there when he originally disconnected within the first minute of qualifying. So I think that was it. But yeah, shocking to see that the top 3, you have Nissim. He's running as a reserve this season, after he came back and left momentarily in Season 3. So he's here as a reserve now. So shocking to see him back. But Jake Wilson on the pole. Last time he won at Daytona was Season 2. Season 1. My mistake. Season 1. We didn't race in Season 2 Daytona. But I was going to mention, you did do your homework. Steve did win last season, so nice to see that. I would send over more stats for you if you want to look into that for future races, as I didn't think you'd look back to Season 3. But yeah, would mention that Lambo was fast that day, and the Mercedes as well. There's no Lambos in the field, but we do have a bunch of Mercedes. As you can see, the top 4 cars, 3 of them are SLSs, and actually 2 of them are SLSs, 1 AMG. And then after that, a 5th place car is an SLS, then a Ferrari, SLS, then a Bentley and everything else, I should say. So yeah, I'm excited for this race. What about you? You have any predictions?
This should honestly be fantastic. I would side with Crusher Bro, but maybe Racing at Home's lap time has just proved him to get the nick over Crusher Bro. So I'm going to go Racing at Home for the win. Crusher Bro 2nd, and for a bit of a punt, let's go Ash Richardson for 3rd. I think he could get that Ferrari right up the field.
Yeah, I have faith in Ash to actually either finish 2nd or 3rd in this race. You know, when he does fall back in the opening lap, if you looked at Zuhai last season, he got taken out by Emmanuel, and he was dead last, and he worked his way up to win the race by not only winning, but he won it by 30 seconds. So that just goes to show Ash was dominant that day in the rain. I mean, this is a different track with different weather, but I'm saying he knows how to pass people cleanly, and he knows how to do it well. So Ash starting in 7th, I don't think that's a problem for him at all. He's going to tear through that field. He's going to tear through his teammate. He's going to tear through Spencer. He's going to tear through Emmanuel. He's going to tear through Nissim as well, even despite in the SLSs and AMGs. I think the ones he's going to have problems with are just going to be Racing at Home and Crusher. But we're rolling now, and we're getting ready to start off Season 4. And it's going to be Racing at Home and Crusher on the front row. The 2 championship protagonists that some could label already, but it's too early to say. Starting Daytona Beach, Florida, Season 4, Tier 1, and we're green to start off Season 4. And already off the start, that's Crusher on the outside. That's going to be Jake Wilson Racing at Home on the inside. He's going to defend very well. Getting that outside was a crucial moment in Tier 2. And already, that's going to be Emmanuel flowing down to 4th. 3rd is Nissim. 2nd is Crusher. Still, Crusher has a chance at the lead, but he's a little bit too far back. Looking farther back in the field, if we can catch any contact, if there is going to be any. Last season, Spencer spun here last season by contact with Jake Wilson Racing at Home, and he's able to hold on to the lead now and far away from each other. The SLS of Spencer Xandamar is going to have a chance in the left-hand kink against Professional. He backs out. He's going to try the switchback, and now he's going to swap places. He's going to fall back into teammate. Oh, there's a big crash. What was that? That's Nissim off. Nissim is off. So is others. And not Andy.
Ash was caught up in that. Yeah, Ash was caught up in that. Emmanuel was being caught up in that as well, I think. Yeah, Emmanuel's spun completely round, has taken the cones with him as well. So I don't know what happened there. We really didn't get the best angle, but Racing at Home still leads. Crusher Pro second, Zandamar now up to third. Super Guy is up to fourth. H Racing Green is in fifth and is now on the back. As you can see on your screen, H Racing Green right on the back. In the Bentley, on the back of Super Guy. In the Mercedes, they're now coming to the bus stop once again for the first time. Racing at Home still leading by 0.3 of a second. H Racing Green, nice exit out of the corner, but I've just got to say, Super Guy got a much better exit as Andy is in the wall, and that is damage for the front of that Aston Martin. So Andy is into the wall. Racing at Home though, and Crusher Pro 3.5. They pulled away on the opening lap as a result of that contact.
I was going to say, not the best of start for Aston Martin Racing to make their debut in CRC, but we have the battle for 5th place right now. It's Professional and H Racing Green. That Bentley, H Racing Green commented as a Boatley, is now defending like a boat against Professional. What a big car to defend against, and again, it does have its perks. Look at the Bentley and look at the size of every other car. The Bentley is probably the biggest car in this class so far for Season 4, and it does have its perks, and it's defending very well.
Yeah, I've got to say, he is defending that well. Is that a Super Guy, I think, round just in the fourth round of shot? It was Super Guy that was round. So the Mercedes is round. Yes. He's dropping down the field quite a lot. But luckily, we caught on board with that. Unfortunate for Super Guy, of course, but he's now down into P10. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead is getting going. Goodness me, I think they're side by side. Racing at Home and Crusher Pro. Crusher Pro on the outside line. Racing at Home on the inside line. Crusher Pro down the inside has got the lead of the race. But now Racing at Home is delivering on the inside. Now on to the banking for the second time, and Racing at Home and Crusher Pro are having a right set two out in front. All of this battling beginning to let Zandamar into play, and H Racing Green's up the fourth as well.
Yeah, I will say Zandamar and H Racing Green have never won a CRC race. Zandamar's come very, very close, and all the battle ensures it's going to allow them to get a lot closer. Defending to the inside, Racing at Home defends the lead very well. Back in second is Crusher. Crusher's going to just cut across the guard. He's going to have the inside. He's going to have to move to the outside to make a move, because defending the inside is Racing at Home. Yeah, I mean, Zandamar is loving this right now. He may be a second and a half back, but he is absolutely loving this battle right now. It's everything he needs to actually take the lead, and if these two collide and crash, it's going to be Zandamar's game in H Racing Green and Professional. But right now, defending the lead is Racing at Home, crossing the line half a car length. Behind is Crusher Bro. He's going to come into turn one. Crusher's going to have to try and get switched back. Well, actually, Racing at Home runs wide. He's off the track. He's off the track. And Crusher, wheel to wheel,
just about
takes the lead.
Just about getting that move done. Crusher Pro, fantastic move. But great driving there by Racing at Home. Didn't want to give that position up without a fight. But the Norwegian, though, doing a great job, and he's up into the lead of the race, 6 tenths ahead. Racing at Home in second. H Racing Green there in fourth position. 007 Professional chasing him down. And Steve, I think, is right on the back as well. As we look further down the field, Emmanuel Beast is into the pits. Is that damage on the car by any chance for Emmanuel? I think it is. Oh no, he's got lost. He's doing a Kimi Räikkönen at Brazil.
Got lost in the grass. A lot easier to find him. But yeah, he was off. Let's do a little rundown where everyone is right now. You have Andy in 12th, 11th Emmanuel, who's just off. You have Super Guy in 10th, 9th Nissim, 8th John Dog, 7th Ash, 6th Steve, 5th Professional, 4th H Racing Green, 3rd Zandamar. And it was a tough start for him to try and get by Racing at Home, but that SLS was really nothing to challenge with against the Aston Martin, believe it or not. And actually, it's Racing at Home cutting bus stop.
Yeah, just cutting across the grass there. Just almost looked like he took a bit too much overspeed into the corner. Gives Crusher Ball now pretty much nearly a 2-second advantage over Racing at Home at this stage. Zandamar in third. H Racing Green is in fourth. Ash and Steve, I think, are quite close. 4/10 of a second separating as they come around the banking. And there you can see, just on board with Ash, who's actually Steve getting close right to the back of 007. That Mercedes beginning to close in on the Ferrari in front, but Steve doing a great job there in 6th position, and actually he's in the Audi, so I've got that totally wrong.
Oh yeah, Professional trying to get by wheel to toe. He's not gonna give it all. Steve in 5th, he's gonna defend the inside very well. I would not try to switch back if I were Professional, and he's gonna get it. Good exit. Switchback, just like I said, takes P5 from Steve.
Yeah, Steve's Steve's actually ran off track. I think he went onto the grass. I'm not sure if there was a bit of lag there. I didn't really quite catch that, but Steve is in 5th position, and actually 007, I think, has given the position back. There must have been a bit of contact there.
Yeah, he ran wide. You cannot go too wide through that kink. There's no way anybody gets away cleanly and stays within the white lines. It was impossible. He went off and he lost time, and actually he left by his own teammate Ash to take back P6. And so I was going to make a little comment. I just noticed something. Nissan was the man who crashed on lap 1. He's running an 8. He's not even last anymore. You have John, Super Guy, Manuel, and Andy behind him. So Nissan did get lucky with that first lap incident, with people who usually crash in the first lap do end up to come up and recover the ashes from pieces that others crash from lap 2 and 3 and 4. So again, crashing in lap 1 isn't the worst thing. You could crash in lap 2 and you can fall even farther behind, because that's what it seems like. Everyone's slow off the start, so when you spin, you're not losing much time. So for Nissan, he's still in the top 8, and he's only 11 seconds off the race lead.
Yeah, it's still 38 minutes still left to go here in CRC Tier 1, and Crusher Pro currently leading the way by 3.8 seconds. That gap has really extended out over the course of the last lap, but he's got miles wide through turn 1. Goodness me, he's up to the Mexican border there. Crusher Pro, miles wide, 2.7 seconds ahead. He's lost a second, but he keeps the lead, which I think is more important. There is a little bit of a timing glitch going on my screen there. Goodness me. Hit Racing Green, though, defending off Steve, who was trying to look up the inside. Not going to be coming from that far back. And Ash just in behind there as well in 6th, with 007 Professional and John chasing in behind. Nissim is in 9th. Super Guy. Emmanuel Beast has picked up a penalty. Must have been for track extensions, I would imagine. That'll probably be either a 2nd or a 2-second penalty for Emmanuel and Andy running down at the back. But hopefully everyone enjoying the action so far here in CRC. There's still 37 minutes to go, and pretty much anything can happen. Still happen.
I was just going to mention, you did have was it Steve gaining an 8 Racing Green? But you forgot to mention Ash was riding his tail as well. So really, it seems like the cars further ahead are a little bit slower than the cars behind. You have the Bentley, and then the Audi, and then the Ferrari, but they're in an order where the slower cars in front for 4th, 5th, and 6th. The limit each and every corner. I'm seeing that he pushes it, and I'm quite amazed with that Bentley. I'm really happy to see it. And now, actually, I think he's gaining on Sandermar for 3rd as well.
Yeah, he is getting on. You did lag a little bit there. I think that was my fault, to be honest, with that. I think we just had a bit of a glitch with my connection, which is absolutely fantastic. That's perfect. But Ash Richardson right on the back of Steve, coming round the outside. Is he down into turn 1? Steve will have to defend this lightly in the Audi on the inside. The Audi R8, of course. Ash down the inside, going to try and get the switch back. No, he's not. Steve holds the position, holds on to 4th, and I've got to say, Hit Racing Green was quite slow at the corner. This is going to produce Steve possibly to have a go at him down into turn 3 or 4, and he's going to switch it back on the inside. The Audi against the Bentley. You know who I would be favouring in this situation? I would actually be favouring Ash Richardson, who we're on board with, beginning to catch in that Ferrari. The battle's ahead, beginning to Constantino up, and Ash Richardson might just be there to pick up the pieces.
You see everyone just the different lines entering that second haircut, because the thing is, you have H Racing Green running the line almost into the curb, so he was really offset. He held on the inside, his car moved up to the outside. Steve was trying to get the switch back, and then you have Ash just sitting back, running as high as he can, and then cutting back low. So everyone taking different lines in the second haircut. But I was going to mention, the more that they battle, the more it's going to benefit Ash to try and get the 4th place. I mean, he is running in 6th right now, and his teammate is in 7th. And I will mention, Professional did win 2 races last year. He had 7, last year, because 2019, now 2020. But and Ash had a bunch of wins at a championship. So to see them running in 6th and 7th is quite odd. But to see all these new drivers and new faces and new tracks and new cars and everything new, I'm surprised and not surprised to see where everyone is running today.
Yeah, I've got to say, Ash is quite close to Steve, I think, on the timing screen. He's about 2 tenths off him. It's, Steve right on the back of H Racing Green, in fact. My timings are messing up a little bit. Now, Steve trying to go right around the outside. Look at the slipstream of the Audi, now beginning to come around the outside. He's going to have to pull it off the hard way if he wants it. Steve trying to go around the outside. Is H Racing Green going to break early for the corner? Steve is in front going into the corner. H Racing Green completely loses it by himself, and that actually interferes with Steve a little bit. He ran out wide, and that gives Ash P4. What we were saying a lap ago has literally just came true there, and just to point out, Nissim is ahead of all 007. He's up to 8th place as well.
Actually, no, he's actually fallen down to 9th because now Nissim is running in 8th, and Professional was just running in 6th or 7th, I believe, and now he's been passed by John and Nissim. So yeah, Professional must have had an incident, but and again, that's what happens. I mean, the Bentley is one of the best cars to defend with, but at the same time, again, it's a boat, so when something does go wrong, your car is going to slide all the way across the track, and we just saw that, like I mentioned a lap ago. Ash was trying to find a way to get from 6th to 4th, and he did it in one corner, and I'm not even surprised he was able to pull it off, because Ash, he can pull magic off his sleeve, and we've seen that time and time again, like Monza last season. He took the lead with 2 laps to go when the 2 leaders crashed, and he was running in 3rd. He won that race due to luck, and he's done it again to use those powers to cause the 2 cars in front of him to crash.
Yeah, Steve looking good in the straight line though, trying to catch back on Ash. We are about 12 minutes through the race here. Good evening to everyone that is tuning in. Of course, it is James Head and Alan Cavey going to be taking you through the action for the rest of the stream. Crusher Pro out in front if you are just tuning in with Racing at Home, in second. 4.4 seconds off in second position. Zandamar in third, Ash Richardson in fourth, with Steve in 5th, H Racing Green in 6th, Nissim 7th, John Dog in 8th with 007 Professional 9th. Emmanuel is into the pits. Has he got suspension damage, I think? Yeah, he's coming out the pits. He must have had suspension damage.
Yeah, it was shocking because Emmanuel was running outside the top 10, but he wasn't last, and I saw that name sink to the bottom of the screen in the pit symbol, so I thought his race was over, but he's going to pit and going to keep on going. But like I said, Emmanuel had a promising start. He qualified very well in the Mercedes SLS, so for him to be back there, it's a little disappointing, but at the same time, that's what happens at Daytona. Madness happens, and you really can't avoid it. It's down to racing incidents.
Yeah, 007 into the pits as well, which is quite interesting. Is he going to repair that from damage that he had on his car? I think he is. He's just about to come out the pits, I think. But still Crusher Pro though leading 4.4 seconds. That gap has stayed really consistent, if I've got to be honest. Crusher Pro dominating out in front as we approach the first 15 minutes here in CRC Tier 1. Racing Home in second. Them two are having, well, I would say their own private battle. They're 5 seconds away from each other. Everyone in behind though, Ash, Steve, H Racing Green, all quite close to each other and quite bunched, especially Ash and Steve for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that the gap is really staying. I mean, like you mentioned a lap or two ago, that Audi, that straight line speed, didn't really see it last season, despite, you know, racing at home and Xandermar qualifying high up there in season 3 in the Audis, but the Audi's not known for straight line speed. So when he was staying with Ash, I was quite surprised. It was a little iRacer there, but missed him back in single car. I saw something there. But yeah, I will mention that the top 2 are within 5 seconds of gap. Again, I feel like as a commentator, just a lap ago, you said how he was staying consistent and constant, and now it's okay. It was at 5 seconds. Now it's down to 4 as soon as I say something. But yeah, that gap is staying within the 4 to 5 second range of the margin, while everyone else is just, I wouldn't say falling behind, but you have Xandermar and a penalty for Steve, by the way, a slowdown, I believe, and same with Manuel. But like I was saying, everyone else falling back slowly but surely. Xandermar in 3rd. He was robbed of a podium last season, so he's going to try and get revenge and reclaim himself this season. Then you have Ash in 4th. Like we said, pre-race predictions, he did qualify 7th, but like I said, he does have a really good shot at a podium. Maybe not 1st or 2nd, but he can get 3rd, and he has been reeling in Xandermar for 3rd place.
Yeah, beginning to close them down. It's less than a second and a half between the two of them for 3rd and 4th. I think with Steve's penalty, he might have picked that up coming through turn 13, which is the exit of the bus stop chicane here at Daytona. I think he picked it up there. He's failed to slow down, and the race director has given him a penalty. Probably, as I say, a second or 2 seconds, and it looks like, actually, has he made a mistake? Because H Racing Green's quite close to him now.
Yeah, he's getting a lot. He's getting a lot on him, and actually Crusher picking up a penalty. That's crucial. That may have been entering the bus stop.
That was entering the bus stop, I think. It seems to catch people out, that corner, seriously. I mean, I've commentated around Daytona before, and always the bus stop chicane here at Daytona catches out the drivers, and there'll be plenty of red warnings or penalties next their names on the left-hand side of the screen. We are about 16 minutes through. Crusher Bro leads 5 seconds the gap. Racing at home in second. We are on to lap 10. How many laps did we get out of in Tier 2? Just for reference.
It was somewhere in the 20s, I'm pretty sure. I remember last time I looked at it was 19. The next time I looked, it was like somewhere in the 20s. I didn't count how many laps there were, I'll be completely honest. But we got somewhere in the 20s. So that's really the predicament of what we can see today. And if the pace continues, we could actually see a couple more laps added on. With the pace of Crusher, he's pushing that Aston Martin in places that really we wouldn't expect it to be. I mean, you'd see Andy all the way down in, what position, 11th place. He's out of the points with damage, and you actually have a car blinking his lights at Andy, believe it or not.
That's Crusher Bro, I think, behind him, is it?
Oh, is it actually? No, it's not actually. I don't think it is.
Is it Racing at Home? One of the two. It might be Racing at Home. It's a Mercedes, anyways. We can go with that. Xandamar. Bit of a battle going on for 7th, I think. John and Nissim about 3 tenths away. And H Racing Green actually just made a mistake out of the kink at turn 4, I think that was. So H Racing Green down to 8th. That Bentley, that Bortley as he likes to call it, not really doing him any favours so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, oh, John, not the best exit. That's going to allow Nissim to gain, and plus he's in that AMG. This is going to be an eventual battle for P6. This should be an easy overtake on a straight for Nissim. And the powerful car with the better exit, and on the toe, he's going to have something. John's going to try the middle lane to defend, but eventually he's going to have to give. Taking the middle lane, which way will he go? Nissim looks to the left, he looks right again, he looks left one more time. And I think John's putting on a good show to defend against. And he's going to have to try braking late, but however, John may cut it. However, he's able to brake in time. He's able to figure out that braking problem. I was testing with John last week, and he mentioned I couldn't get on the brakes as easily. I think he figured it out, but nonetheless, Nissim gets by for 6th place easily. John's finally going to let him by, and he says, enough is enough. It's costing me time. And he's off, and I was going to say someone left the lobby. Was it H Racing Green?
Yes, it was. H Racing Green is out of the race. The first retirement of CRC Tier 1 this season, I'm afraid to report. Yeah,
I'm not sure what happened with him. I'd like to find out at least. I didn't think H Racing would be the first retirement.
John Dog's got damage, I think. Well, his glass is completely smashed. Maybe something to do with that? I don't know. Might be just making assumptions here more than anything else.
Usually the damage visuals aren't up to date or accurate in this game. There's a chance he could have damage, but that may have been from qualifying and it doesn't get rid of the damage sometimes, so it's really a glitch half the time. But we have to assume his race is running fine. It doesn't say he has any car problems, so I think he's running fine.
Yeah, he's doing good at the minute, right on the back of Nissim as well. He's still on the back. Andy has picked up a penalty and is just beaking on ball with him. Not really a commentator's curse there, but he has had a bit of a half spin coming onto turn 9. A beautiful camera shot on the back of that Aston Martin there. Emmanuel Beast is right on the back of a lap car. That, I think, is Xandamar, if I am not mistaken. No, it's not. It is Super Guy, I think.
Super Guy.
In the other Mercedes in the same livery. John and Nissim about a second away from each other to the closest battle out on track. Super Guy trying to flash. A car behind him trying to flash his way through. Who is that behind him? Is that Emmanuel Beast? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said that Emmanuel had a lap car in front of him. I think this is vice versa. Super Guy had a lap car behind him of Emmanuel. I think they're actually going to battle Emmanuel. The lap car is going to battle Super Guy. And remember, these two teams do sort of still have an alliance from the past couple of seasons. Season 2, they were Porsche. Season 3, they were Audis. This season, they're SLSs. So contact could do a major break between the two. But Emmanuel, the lap car, gets by and doesn't take any position. It's just for pride.
Yeah, it is just for pride. He has unlapped himself of at least one driver, which is a positive from his part. Certainly. Who was that going wide? Was that Nissim going wide? Was somebody going wide there? It was a lap car?
Andy.
I don't know. It was Andy going wide. But that's me. I'm seeing things, honestly. I've got my glasses on and I can hardly see.
No, it was Andy. You weren't seeing things.
It's still 4.5 seconds though between Crusher Bro and Racing at Home. That gap, well, it's just gone up to 5 seconds now, but really staying consistent. And I've got to be honest, Ash has caught Xandamar, and it's a second separating the two behind. 3rd and 4th, I have a feeling we'll get going very soon indeed.
So I'm getting reports now from H Racing Green that he had a pedal failure in real life, and it costed him a good result in today's race.
Never nice to have a pedal failure at all. Hopefully he will be able to get that fixed, of course, and return next week as we go to one of my favourite tracks, the Algarve in Portimao, of course. Fantastic track to commentate around. But Crusher Bro still out in front. That gap is extended by about 0.4 of a second this last lap. Racing home in second, but Zandamar and Ash are within around a second and a half of each other currently. Zandamar just beginning to pull away again on Ash. Steve and Nissim still in behind, roughly separated by about a second. John in 7th with Super Guy in 8th, 007 in 9th, Andy in 10th and Emmanuel both in 11th. 10th and 11th plus 5th and 1st have all got some sort of penalty. I think they will probably have either a second or 2 seconds respectively.
I was just going to say something. I forgot what it was. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Okay, so yeah, I just remembered Steve, because of H Racing Green's retirement, Steve's up to 5th, Nissim 6th, 7th John. So we did mention those Audis are probably the slowest car in this field along with the Bentley. They did start in the back of the field, however, because of a couple crashes and retirements and misfortunes, they're able to reclaim 5th and 7th for Williams Engineering. It's going to be good points today. I wouldn't say completely down to luck, but you have other faster cars behind them that did have incidents, so it's really just down to that. But like we mentioned, racing at home is falling off the pace a little bit. That gap is almost ranging into 6 seconds.
Yeah, Crusher Bro dominating things out in front. What I like about Crusher Bro and his driving style is that the Norwegian takes the race by the scruff of the neck and just pulls and pulls away. You can see him, how far he's actually clear on the camera angle from racing at home. It is quite extraordinary. However, there is a battle for 5th, and it is Stephen Nissim about 0.4 of a second away. Emmanuel Beast just coming into pits there, but Nissim in that Mercedes will try and close in on Steve. So, sorry if I keep cutting between them both, but Nissim right on the back of Steve, and he's looking to the outside into the bus stop. This will be quite dangerous, if I've got to be honest. If he can pull this off, this will be fantastic, and he has done. Nissim, a reserve driver around the outside, clean as a whistle. Brilliant move, Nissim, and he's pulled a second and a half away from Steve. That is what you like. John slightly off track in the background, but Nissim, clean as you like. He's up to 5th. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it was a fantastic move. We saw moves like that in Tier 2, and the difference was that they'd either lock up or outbrake themselves and they'd cut through the grass, but Nissim was able to perfectly time it, perfectly execute it, and was able to move himself inside the top 5, and I think we actually just saw, was it another retirement? I think
another retirement, yeah. Don't know, I can't think of who it is.
Super Guy.
Super Guy out of the race. He was running in 9th, I think.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened. I'm hoping he didn't run out of fuel this time. That's been a running theme between him and the car. He's run out of fuel 3 races he's done in CRC out of the 4 he's done so far. So hopefully it's not a fuel-related issue. I'll try and report back with more information on that.
Yeah, I'm having a look on the Discord, see if we can see anything, but sadly nothing coming to source about Super Guy's retirement. Hopefully we'll get to that in due course. But Crusher Bro dominating things out in front. He's now nearly 7 seconds clear. The Norwegian is dominating in that Aston, and I've got to be honest, I wasn't expecting them to dominate this early on in the season. This could be what we have got to see to come, because Crusher Bro, as we approach the halfway stage, is 7 seconds clear. Goodness knows how far he'll be right at the end of the race, but hopefully he doesn't have a spin like we've seen him do in the last couple of races of TT_Project Cars, drop the back end. Hopefully he doesn't do that tonight. But as we approach the halfway stage, it is Crusher Bro who does lead the way. Racing home in seconds and the 3rd. Ash Richardson in 4th. Whoa, and Crusher Bro, nearly a commentator's curse. Oh. Goodness me, he went miles wide through turn 1. That's been a running theme, I think, tonight here at Daytona. Manuel Beast just going wide as well. I think that might have been to let Zandamar through, who's up into 3rd position. Ash is chasing them down in 4th. There was Zandamar just coming out of turn 1, actually, so it's not him. I think it might have been Andy just ahead of him, but Crusher Bro still out in front. Racing home 2nd, Zandamar 3rd, Ash in 4th, Nissim in 5th, Stephen 6th, John Duggan 7th, 007 in 8th, Andy in 9th, and Emmanuel Beast in 10th position. It's all gone a little bit quiet out on track.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually after the first 20 minutes in Raws with all these drivers, then it starts to calm down. But I think the fun thing about 45-minute races, like back in Season 1, we did hour-long races, and I would say first 15-20 minutes were fun. boring part in the middle of the race, and then last 10 minutes it was good. So we shortened it down to 45 minutes. We saw that throughout the entire race there was continuous battles, and people started to fight each other again within 20 minutes remaining, and that's when the time would be when, you know, battles would start to die, but everyone started to push it up, start to get more aggressive. And I mean, that's the thing I love about 45-minute races. It's a perfect time for all these guys to race, because no matter what time you are in the race, it's either you'll be next to someone or you need to pass them, and you're always going to be in that moment in a 45-minute race like we have today.
Yeah, obviously there's no real battles going on. Just to confirm, I've just seen on the Discord, Super Guy had a disconnect. So a typical disconnect from Super Guy there. Hopefully he does fix his connection for next week, and hopefully we do see him recover. Just in terms of lap times, 46.2 from Crusher Bro. Racing at home, about to come across the line now. That was a 45.9 last lap around. So he was 0.3 quicker in terms of the timings. Does that replicate with the time, the gap actually coming down? Saying that, it's just gone back up to 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, it just depends where you are on the track, because if you're on a very, very, very long straight, it's going to differ from when you're in the infield section, when you're going 100 miles per hour through a corner, compared to 160, 170 down a straight. So each lap will differ between 6 and 7 seconds. That gap again is starting to increase even further. It's now between the 6 and 7 range. 5 laps ago, I think it was around like 25 minutes ago, or not 25 minutes ago, but in the 25-minute marker, it was between 4 and 5 seconds. So Crusher's really starting to push the car even further to try and really just enlarging the gap between him and racing at home. And again, I don't think racing at home would be a factor in today's race. I mean, you know, Ash did outperform him last season, and I thought that either they would have picked the SLS and would have tried to bring the challenge to the Crusher, but he picked the Ferrari, and in today's race, the Ferrari isn't the fastest car, but I mean, it is a good one, but the SLS is really the one that should really get the highlight of the day. I mean, while that Aston will probably win this race, it's really going to be down to the SLS is really putting the challenge to Crusher.
Yeah, the SLS doing a good job of racing at home. He was 3 times quicker last lap around compared to Crusher Pro, who is ahead of him. Xander and Ash are around 2 seconds away from each other at this stage. And I think Xander has had a bit of a mistake at the bus stop, because that gap just beginning to come down, and there's a car off track. Whoa. Who on earth was that? I think that was Emmanuel Beast. Goodness me, rejoining track nearly in a dangerous fashion. God, talk about giving a heart attack, Emmanuel Beast. Oh my goodness. And just to pick up 007 Professional has picked up a penalty as well, just to confirm on that. But relatively speaking, there's not really much going on. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the stream so far. I'm going to have a check in the comment section and see what you guys have been saying actually. Andy's saying, God blooming damn it, he got suspension damage and his race was buggered. So Andy had suspension damage, just to confirm on that. And was today's start delayed, or was it scheduled for 8:30? It is scheduled for 8:30. It was just a bit delayed. We had a bit of a technical issue with the Tier 2 lobby in terms of the broadcast. And as you can see, I am not going through the cameras. It should be the other way around. Hopefully we can get that fixed for next week. There is a good battle going on. Xander and Ash, 3/10 away from each other.
Yeah, I was going to say with... I was just looking at something. I keep forgetting. My memory's not the best. Let's be honest here. But I was going to say something, yes, about the delayed time. So yes, there's a technical difficulty in Tier 2. There's going to be a lot of different rule changes for next week, I can confirm. Really, Tier 2, it was an experiment to see the first race, see if there's anything that we should change, and there will be some changes we'll make next week for Tier 2. But for Tier 1, everything's looking fine, okay. A couple disconnections, something that we can't control, but we are, you know, saddened to see. I mean, disconnections happen once in a while, and it happens with esports events like these, or just online races in general. And I will mention, hopefully, this battle doesn't disconnect from us any further. A battle between 3rd and 4th with Ash and Xandermar. They are reeling each other in, and I suspect within 10 minutes to go, Ash to be in P3.
I've got to be honest, Xandemar looks like he's quicker on the straight. He's just beginning to edge out the gap slightly to Ash, and that Ferrari doesn't really have a great closing speed. Even with the dirty air that the car is running in, we've got just under 15 minutes to go. Xandemar and Ash getting going for the battle for 3rd, and he was quite early on the brakes there, I think, Xandemar. Ash closing up well late on the brakes, and he's closed right onto the back of him within 0.2 of a second as it comes through turns 2 and 3 here at Daytona. It is Crusherbo who still leads the way. Racing home in 2nd, Xandemar 3rd, Ash in 4th, and this is the battle, of course, we are on board with. Mercedes and the Ferrari getting going out on track. And I've got to say, this could be a really intriguing and interesting battle for the rest of the race. 14 minutes to go. This, I think, is the perfect time for a battle to get going. And with the night beginning to come on us here at Daytona, it is going to be quite perfect because Ash is really closing in on Xander in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, and like I said, with these 45-minute races, once and 10 minutes to go, these battles will start to happen. And the key one right now is between, let's see, 3rd and 4th. Ash again on the straight. He's going to lose out in the corners is where Ash gains. And we've seen that again. Ash loves cars second corner, but have terrible power on the straights. The Ginetta in Season 2, probably one of the slowest cars in the straights. And then Season 3, he took the McLaren again. He was able to control in the corners, but not on the straight. Season 4, he picked the Ferrari, which again, he's actually going to get a fantastic entrance in. Not the best exit off the bus stop. Ash, I will mention, neither of these guys have a penalty. So I will say, they look to be clean so far. However, that bad exit off the bus stop is really going to help Xanamar stay ahead.
Yeah, Xander's staying ahead for now. Ash, I think, it was similar to what we saw earlier on. I think it was with Steve who cut the inside of the bus stop, and he got a penalty for it for not slowing down. Might be the same for Ash, but it hasn't came through at the moment. However, Steve's penalty, I think, came through at turn 1, and you can see the cornering speed of that Ferrari really beginning to close in on the Mercedes. He needs to really prioritise the cornering, I think, Ash. If I was in a situation now, I would certainly not be trying this move down the inside. Xandamar hanging on for grim life around the outside. Ash trying to get up the inside, but I think in Ash's position, I honestly would just be trying to exploit a weakness out of Ash at this stage. And looking at the penalties there, which we had up briefly, Crusher had a second, Steve had a second, and I think everyone else has either got 3 seconds or 4 seconds worth of penalties. I've got great memory, so I probably remembered that. Ash still well on the back of Xander though, coming onto the banking, and this is where the Mercedes is strong. Ash has got to be a lot more aggressive, I think, through the corners to try and get past Xander. Otherwise, I think we're going to see 3rd and 4th as it is.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, you made a stab at me, like, yeah, I have better memory. But, yeah, I was going to mention with the battle for 3rd and 4th, it just happens every single lap. Spencer, he loses time in the... Oh, I think it's maybe it. He had the entrance, and Ash is going to take one for the taking. He's going to have it up the bus stop now.
Oh, look at the speed.
Corners.
Yeah, look at the speed. Yeah, look at the speed difference. Xander is just pulling away on the straight. Ash has got no hope, I don't think. He's staying within the slipstream, but even the slipstream is not enough. He's 2 tenths off him, but he's not closing in at all. Xander doing his best to try and break the toe. He doesn't really need to break the toe. He's got 3rd pretty much wrapped up, I think. If Ash can exploit him into the corners, but again, much later on the brakes down into turn 1, but Xander doing a good job out in front in 3rd position at the moment in time. Crusher still leading. That gap has extended to just over 7 seconds. As soon as I said that, it drops under 7 seconds. Here comes Ash again up the inside. Little bit of contact, but there could be side by side out of turn 5, I think that is. Ash Richardson and Xandamar. Xander is just about coming out on top here tonight, but Ash getting a much better exit. Is he going to see a chance up the inside? He will try switchback, I think, through the right-hander here as Ash. But Xander is making that Mercedes look as wide as possible. It's almost like a double-decker bus here in the UK. Goodness me. Xander doing a good job. He's still in 3rd.
I will say, I have never seen a double-decker bus. Would like to see one, but this battle, it's really put on a highlight. Remember, I will highlight the last time these two were in a key battle for a podium position. It was Laguna Seca Season 2 finale. Xandamar had it in the bag, but with 3 minutes left, binned it off the track. He has come under pressure before. In key battles like this, he needs to be able to hang on in order to take the podium, and I think Ash, he's really going to have to pressure him. I wouldn't say he has to focus on the straights. I wouldn't say he has to focus on any corners. Just pressure him, because he has made errors before when in battles like this, and he can rely on that. The comfort that the 2-time champion has against a driver who's never won a race, it's a big difference. It's shoes to fill for confidence. So for Xandamar, he's really going to have to hang on and really control himself within these final 9 minutes.
I think I've just seen on the timing screens, I think Crusher might have made a mistake out in front. that gap reduced from 8.5 seconds to 6 seconds in the space of no time. So I think Crusherbro has had a moment. He's picked up an extra second on penalties as well. There are the penalty rundowns as well. And Racing at Home has also picked up a penalty. It's only a second. But if Crusherbro keeps on making silly mistakes, that he's been known for in the past, I've got to be honest, especially around Donington Park, which is his most favourite track in the world, because he keeps on spinning there and lost the Janetta junior race around there in TT_Project Cars in the Racing Roulette. But still with this battle for third, Xander and Ash, these guys, if Crusherbro and Racing at Home actually pick up penalties and more of them, these guys might just sneak a second or a win. I'm not ruling it out for one moment.
Yeah, I was going to mention that both Racing at Home and Crusher did pick up a second penalty each respectively to the names, but I will... Oh, Steve! Steve and
contact!
What happened?
Must have been contact. Is Steve trying to go up the inside? Who was ahead? Was Nissam ahead of Steve? I don't know.
I don't know. We weren't paying attention to it. We were paying attention to the top 3 battles for like 10 minutes, and we forgot about these guys who now all of a sudden John has a chance to pass Nissam, who is missing a right-end light. So that's good for John. At least he can pick up 6th place if he can take it. Though I do think Nissam does have damage, and yes, he does. Professional down in 8th, Andy 9th, 10th is Emmanuel. So the top 10 is still in the lobby. However, that gap is starting to increase between Xandermar and Ash as well. We'd like to highlight that also.
Yeah, Crusherbro is out in front by 5.9 seconds. Ash just running wide of the apex through turn 1, even though there's not really an apex there, if I've got to be honest. But Xander right on the power in the Mercedes, and again through the corners, Ash beginning to get closer, but not good enough to the overtake to actually take place, and he runs wide just off track limits there. Ash doing a good job though to hold the position in 4th. Steve there in 5th position is about 20 odd seconds off. John and Nissim, however, are having a battle, and has John gone past Nissim? He has, as Nissim has picked up a penalty, so John has gone past Nissim for 6th.
I was just about to mention, they did pass each other. We forgot about it again, but Williams Engineering up to 5th and 6th, while Bulldog Racing is 4th and 8th, and now with Ash, we did count him out. Now all of a sudden he's right behind Xandermar, but he is going to lose his time, and again, the slipstream, the toe is just non-existent. The dirty air is too much, and that Ferrari power from Maranello is not enough to battle the Mercedes SLS down the straights, and really, that's really the big factor in these races. He's flashing his lights, and in frustration, he just does not have the power. He's probably screaming GT2, or I should say Tier 2 engine, if we're being honest here. That Ash is trying his best to stay with Xandermar.
Yeah, I said earlier on, Xander had the speed in the straight line, and you can really see again, just beginning to inch away from him on the banking here. Ash right on the back of him, but again, not really making any difference at all. We are about 6 minutes to the end of the race. I can't believe it's gone this quick already. Crusherbro leads 5.7 seconds. That gap has actually extended. I think Racing at Home has just made a colossal error in turn 1. He has. Racing at Home has made he's dropped the back end, I think, through turn 1. Surely. He must have done.
Yeah, he did spin it in turn 1. He did a little 360 in the spin process as well. Luckily, there's a lot of exit room in turn 1, so no damage, no contact is made at all, but still comfortably in 2nd. He's still 6 seconds ahead of Xandermar, while Ash is almost making contact. I think he did. He made a little bit of a mistake. He's flashing his lights again. He's not too happy with Xandermar, and he's going to keep flashing them. I think that's really going to be the turning point in this race. That was do or die moment right there. 5 minutes left. He had his nose in there, but he was about to sneeze there with that nose, and he did lose the back end against Xandermar.
Yeah, Ash is still on the back of him, really trying to pressurise, and you can see how frustrated he is. He just wants that Ferrari to get past. He's trying at will to get past with the Ferrari, but the Mercedes of Xandermar on the straight, I think, is the telling difference here tonight. Xander doing a good job in 3rd position. There's not really much going on further down the field, so we'll focus on this for now. Crusherbro now with an extended lead of 11 seconds after Racing at Home's unfortunate mistake, which we did catch a little bit of on stream. Xander in 3rd, Ash in 4th, and there is Racing at Home in 2nd position, doing a good job. And again, look at Ash through the corners, much quicker. Goodness me, he might get a penalty. Yeah, he might get a penalty. I was just about to come on to that. Race director, I think, will probably give a second penalty for that. Nissim has just been overtaken by 007 Professional. Has he got damage? Has he got I don't know if he's got damage, or has he got puncture or something? He's gone very slow.
Punctures aren't possible in this game. I just noticed. Yeah, they're not possible. But I don't know, but he's going awfully slow. How much fuel does he have? He has 20 fuel liters. He's fine on fuel. So I'm not sure what's happening with Nissim.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with him either. He has picked up a penalty. Sorry, Ash has picked up a penalty as a result of that. And again, he's right on the back of Xander. And it's separated by, well, my timings are going all over the place. Xander's actually in front by a little bit further than Ash. And yeah, there is the confirmation about him, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was just about to notice, he's really put on the gap. I will notice Ash is keeping with, but I will put a big statistical Ash is going to make a move to the inside. He's never been able to get to the inside of Xandermar, and he's going to move him up to the outside of the track. But Xandermar is able to stay with, and he will be in the tow, but it's not going to be enough for Ash. Yeah, actually, I think he's going to be close enough to stay with him. This is going to be big if he can nail I lost it.
Right in the toe, isn't he? Yeah, Ash right in the toe of Xander, trying to get and exploit a weakness, really, out of Xander. But he's doing so well. Is he going to try around the outside of the bus stop? No way. Oh, my God, I thought he was going to try it there. But again, that Mercedes...
cut it.
He did cut the corner.
Of the bus stop.
We have got another penalty, I think. Isn't this on?
Yeah, Ash got a penalty.
Yeah, Ash just picked up a penalty. So pretty much the red penalties are lighting up. Pretty much out on track, and that is Nissim just coming into the pits on the left-hand side of the pit lane. He might come out ahead of Andy if he's quick enough. I have a doubt about that though. But Ash and Xander still for third and fourth. Stephen fifth now inherits that position from Nissim, who was actually behind him out on track. He was down in seventh before he came into the pits. Xander and Ash again looking up the inside into the sly hairpin. Goodness me, trying to stick his nose in there, but not quite pulling that move off. He's never close enough for a move, is he?
No, I was just going to mention, it's just this track is not designed for the Ferrari at all. I mean, as soon as he gets close enough, as soon as Ash is right there to make a move, boom, it's a straight and he pulls away. And it sucks for Ash because he's really pushing his tail off in these corners just to lose him on the straights, and you know, and it makes sense why he's frustrated. It's just that SLS is so much faster, and we'll see at other tracks that it won't be the same case, but that Mercedes is really going to be key at tracks like Daytona and Bathurst and Le Mans, and maybe even Nürburgring, but they won't be laughing then when you know, you're at Long Beach, for example, which we do have later on in the season, and you know, Sector 2 of Bathurst. You know, we're not going to be laughing. That Ferrari is going to be the one to beat, and you know, we know that, and it's frustrating to see for the Ferrari right now running in fourth with a minute left in this race. Crusher's about to cross the line for the final lap in today's race. Believe it or not, time has flown, and we've had first opening race in CRC Season 4.
I can't believe it's the final lap. Goodness me, this race has went so quick. Ash still on the back of Xander, but again, that Mercedes speed is just so quick, and Ash cannot catch him. Racing at home is just ahead in shot, I do believe. He's just about to come down into turn one to start we're on to the final lap of the race now with these guys. It looks like I think the top 7 will be getting home on the same lap. Andy, Nissim and Emmanuel will be 1 or 2 laps down respectively, I think. Crusher Pro, though, has really dominated affairs out in front. Racing at home did make a mistake quite late on. I think it was with about 10 minutes to go. Really cost him an opportunity to have a go at Crusher Pro, but Crusher Pro has just been dominant out in front. Racing at home in second, but still this battle for third rages on. And I did predict it about 15 minutes ago it would stay the same. We have had a retirement from the race. It's Steve, I think, that is out the race. It is Steve.
Steve, wow.
He was in 6th, I think.
Yeah, he's in 5th. John is taking back 5th place. I'm quite shocked. I'm going to message Steve and see what happens.
There must be a disconnect. I've got to be honest on that. Ash, right on the back. Crusher Pro, though, for the bus stop for the final time. The Aston Martin has done a sterling job out in front with Racing at home in second. Xander and Ash still going round out on track. Xander doing enough towards the bus stop chicane. If Ash can get a really good run out of the bus stop, He could have a chance down the straight, but I just think it's a bit too far enough for him to go. Xander brakes nicely again. Ash carries the speed through the corner. Not going to be close enough. Yeah, Xander is going to come home in third. But Crusher Bro coming across the line to win here at Daytona. Fantastic win for the Norwegian. Brilliant, dominant. What more do you want? Racing at Home is going to be coming across the line in second position. Of course, safety rating and driver rating is on, so they've got to be careful that they don't crash and don't ruin their rating. Xander coming across the line in third. Ash will be coming across the line in fourth. Those positions won't change. John is going to be coming into the bus stop very soon indeed to finish in fifth. I think everyone else will probably be across the line by the time John and 007 come home. So Andy will finish 7th, Emmanuel will finish 8th, and Nissim will finish in 9th place. And Emmanuel just coming across the line to finish that in 8th place. Nissim is going to come across the line soon, I think, if he hasn't already. He'll be across the line in 9th, and Andy will be coming across the line in 7th. But really good, dominating win by Crusher Bro out on track. We have got a few seconds left, I think, for the rest to complete. It is frozen on my screen, which is quite unfortunate. It's stuck on 79 seconds. We definitely haven't got 79 seconds remaining. I can tell that. But yeah. Crusher Bro, dominant performance. What do you think of his win?
Not surprised. I knew he'd be a force to reckon with in his debut CRC race. He did have a little bit of a challenge in the beginning, but Crusher was able to hang on and extend that lead, and honestly, I feel like he's going to carry that momentum throughout the rest of the season.
Yep, Crusher Bro takes it here at Daytona Road Course. Racing at Home in second, Xander in third, Ash in fourth, John Dog in fifth. Well done to Xander and John for not picking up any penalties, I've got to be honest. 007 Professional in sixth, Andy in seventh, Emmanuel Beast in eighth, and Nissim in ninth. The 9 finishers out on track. We did lose H Racing Green. He also came in and has commented that his car was bafflingly slow, and it cost me at least a second or 2 seconds out on track within Sector 2 and Sector 3. So that was a bit of a comment and a bit of a debrief there from H Racing Green. But that is it for tonight. Are we going to have any interviews?
I've talked to some of the drivers before we would start this this broadcasting process. I know the Tier 2 guys were, ready for interviews, but we didn't have time for it, and I know the Tier 1 guys aren't really keen on interviews. I remember talking to Crusher and Racing at Home and a couple other guys. I'm not sure they would want to be interviewed or not. I think we could just leave it at that. It's been a long, long night. It's actually almost 10 o'clock your time, and I think a lot of these guys would just want to head to bed. I mean, for you, at least, it's 10 o'clock your time, and we are getting word that Steve got a drive-through within 3 minutes left and decided to call it a night. He did get the 80% rule, so he will classified for a single point, which is unfortunate, which he was running in 5th place, which was 10 points, but he lost out there. But I think, yeah, it's going to be it. It was a fun night of racing action at Daytona Beach, Florida, and I think, we'll see just as much action next week in Portimao.
Oh, the Algarve. I cannot wait for Portimao next week. It is one of my favourite tracks. It never fails to disappoint. I've commentated on other leagues before, and Algarve is always the track I look forward to whenever a calendar is released. It is literally the best track on Project Cars 2, in my opinion, of course. You might have a different opinion, and I'm sure everyone else does as well.
I mean, that's why we had the evaluation races there. We thought it was very good in the straights, very corners, had a lot of elevation change, and to be honest, I love it. I mean, besides Imola, Algarve's the second best track.
Yeah, Imola, it can't be a bit of Imola either. But, of course, that is it for tonight here in GT3 Tier 1 for CRC Tier 1, I should say. Of course, it's been a pleasure joining Alan Cavey in the commentary box tonight. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. My voice is still here. I let you take over a lot of the commentating duties tonight, and my voice feels a lot better, so thank you.
You're very welcome. And, of course, if you don't want to miss on any of the action in CRC, we will be back next week, of course, from 7:30, I do believe, for Tier 2. That will be with yourself. And then you'll be joining me once again in the commentary box next week from around 8:30, 20 to 9, we think it would be, for the race to begin for next week in the Algarve. But what a pleasure it has been to share the commentary box with yourself. And I'm sure everyone has enjoyed the commentary. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to TTTV. The next action that you will get on this channel will be Tuesday night, will be TTL F2. And guess who is going to be commentating on that? It's yours truly. Fantastic. And then the mini leagues.
I had no clue.
The mini leagues are back next week as well. That'll be Wednesday. Myself and Kieran McGinley will be taking you through those respectively, League 2 and League 1. Thursday is TTL F1. Again, Kieran McGinley and myself will be taking you through that one. Friday, it's TTSL. You can't get enough of me. I'm going to be on commentary once again on a Friday night with Malc in the commentary box for that one. Goodness me, I'm a busy man, honestly. And then Saturday we're back here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Algarve is, again, I love that track. And then after Algarve, we head to Donington and then Le Mans. Top 4 of the races we've seen: first, second, third, and fourth race of the schedule. It's unchanged from last season, and it's because it's worked out perfectly. Start out with Daytona, then you head to a fantastic track in Algarve, then you head to the British Grand Prix in Donington, then you head to a legendary track of Le Mans, and then after that we've really just changed up the schedule a lot. And the top 4 races, the first 4 races, have really been key in developing a championship fight. We saw it last season. Ash was able to take the championship lead midway through the season. The first 4 races for him were tricky, so maybe Ash can sort of reclaim himself and defend his second championship. And again, I will mention, this is Ash's first ever race at Daytona. Last season, he wasn't there. He had a wheel problem. And again, this weekend, he had a wheel problem. He got his wheel back, I think, yesterday. Something you want to have, but I think